Could you please take a bit more care with your appearance? Every time I see you at home, you're always dressed so sloppily. You have your messy hair tied back in some lazy bun, wearing those frumpy glasses. Is it any wonder you still don't have any grandchildren for me? At this point, I'm better off having my son find another woman to have kids with on the side and then having her move in with me.
Carla, that's because those are the days when I'm not expecting to see you. I'm wearing what's most comfortable to work in. Besides, I've asked you several times already, please stop coming into our living space unannounced. If you actually told me you were coming in advance, I'd be able to get myself ready and you wouldn't have to see me like that.
Excuse me, I'm only thinking about how to make our shared living arrangements more comfortable for everyone. For example, yesterday when I checked your refrigerator, it was practically empty. I figured you must be struggling, so I was kind enough to bring over some homemade food for you, wasn't I? A little gratitude wouldn't kill you, you know.
And as I've told you before, we really appreciate your concern, but we've asked you repeatedly not to do that. We have our own rhythm and way of doing things, and while we appreciate the gesture, showing up whenever you feel like it is honestly quite disruptive for us.
What did you just say? Oh, how dare you talk to your mother-in-law like that? Here I am, always thinking about you two and how to make your lives easier, and this is the thanks I get? If you can't even appreciate a simple favor, maybe you should try handling everything yourself. You're the wife, after all. You should be the one taking care of everything without needing any outside help.
We buy groceries according to our needs, planning everything carefully to avoid waste. And to be honest, it's your son who constantly changes our plans with his sudden drinking parties or weekend golf trips. If we overbuy, we end up throwing food away. Maybe you could have a word with him about that? I'm sure he'd listen to you more than he would me.
Oh, so what you're saying is you don't have the skills to manage your household properly as a wife?
I beg your pardon?
It's clear from the way you said it, you obviously don't have enough influence over my son. He doesn't respect you enough to listen to what you say. That's a failure on your part as a wife, don't you think? If you were handling things right, he'd prioritize your opinions. But apparently you aren't, so maybe you should work on that. Seems like a you problem, and I don't want to play any role in your problems.
I really don't appreciate you turning this into a marital issue. There are already enough things we need to work on as a couple without you adding to them.
Oh, I see how it is. You're trying to blame me now, huh? Am I the one causing all your problems in your marriage?
I'm not saying that directly, but yes, if we didn't have these constant conflicts with you, things might be a little smoother between me and your son.
How dare you? Oh, you really are the worst. I have no idea what my son ever saw in you. You are disrespectful, ungrateful, and honestly, you're not even trying to be a good wife. You can't even give him children. You are a failure as a woman, plain and simple. I still don't understand why he chose to marry you.
Children? You really have to bring that up? I didn't think it was necessary to go there.
Of course I have to. My son is still young, successful, and honestly, he could do a whole lot better than you. He's attractive and doing well in his career. Men only get better with age, after all. Meanwhile, you've just let yourself go. You're too comfortable assuming that just because you're married, you don't need to make any effort anymore. You think you can waltz around the house in your frumpy glasses and lazy hair looking like a total slob? A man like him will get tired of you and leave in no time. I guarantee it. He's probably already thinking about leaving you.
Wow, so you're just saying whatever comes to your mind now. All right, I'll take your advice to heart then.
That's right, you better, because sooner or later he's going to realize that he deserves better. He doesn't have to be stuck with a woman like you. Maybe it's time he finds someone who can give him what he needs. A real wife who actually cares about how she looks and can give him a family. You know, someone who can fulfill the role properly. You're just dragging him down. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes to his senses and asks for a divorce. In fact, I'm almost certain he will.
A divorce? Is that really necessary to bring up?
It's only natural. Men don't settle for less, especially not men like my son. He has options. He could easily find a younger, more attractive woman who can give him children. He's got a future ahead of him, and you're just holding him back. You're the one who should be preparing yourself for when he walks out the door. It's only a matter of time. He'll want more than what you're giving him.
Well, that's certainly an interesting perspective. I suppose I'll keep that in mind then. Thank you for the heads up.
Why on earth did you install surveillance cameras inside the house? And you hid them so well. How long have they been there?
Oh, yes, I did install them. Good job noticing, by the way. They're only in our living area, so it's not a big deal, right?
What? You're supposed to inform people before doing something like that. This is basically secret filming.
And what exactly are you talking about when you're the one who's been trespassing in our living space? I installed the cameras for the safety of our area. Why should I be criticized for that? If you weren't constantly barging in where you don't belong, I don't think there'd be any complaints. Unless you're worried I've caught you doing something you don't want me to see.
That's not it. But still, wanting to keep an eye on your mother-in-law like this, you're just the worst.
No, that's not it at all. Frankly, I don't care about keeping an eye on you or what you're doing.
Huh? Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. There's no way you're going to convince me this was purely for security.
Why should I have to explain everything I do to you? This is my house and I'm the one paying the mortgage. I have every right to do whatever I want here. I'm not interested in constantly justifying myself to someone who keeps interfering with my life.
Don't act so high and mighty just because you're paying $400 for the mortgage. We'll take over the payments, and you, the outsider, can leave this house right now.
Wait, are you serious?
Of course I am, and not only that, you'll be divorcing my son, too. Start packing your things and get out of here.
Okay, it's actually $4,000, but fine, I'll do as you ask and leave. But remember, it's your son who will be the one suffering from the divorce.
Oh, don't you dare say something so ridiculous. Don't ever show your face around here again.
Understood.
You had another fight with my mom, huh? Just apologize already and come back. Stop being so stubborn. You're not cute when you're acting like this, you know.
I'm not coming back. In fact, I've already submitted the divorce papers. Remember that document you signed just in case years ago? Well, it turns out it was a good idea to keep it prepared because I've gone ahead and used it.
Wait, what? You can't be serious right now. This is just another one of our usual arguments, right? Like every other time, isn't it?
Usual arguments, you say? You mean the constant cycle of your mother interfering in our lives while you sit there pretending it's not happening? You never took my feelings seriously. If you had, and if you'd been willing to actually address the problem, maybe things wouldn't have reached this point. But instead, every single time you chose to side with your mother and make me the bad guy. I've been dealing with this for so long and I am exhausted. I can't take it anymore.
Come on, hold up a second. Everyone has issues with their in-laws. It's just how things are, right? Every family has to deal with mother-in-law problems. You can't expect everything to be perfect. This isn't something so special that we can't just work through it like everyone else does. Why couldn't you just handle it yourself?
I tried handling it on my own countless times. Every time I talked to her, I asked her to respect our space and begged for a little privacy. She ignored me. She would still come over unannounced and walk into our home as if she owned it and start criticizing me. She'd complain about how I keep the house, about how I dress, about how I cook, and then she'd say things like, "It's no wonder you haven't given me a grandchild yet." She never respected my boundaries even after I made them clear. And what's worse is that you never defended me. You never once asked her to stop or supported me when I needed you to. Instead, you always sat there nodding along, agreeing with her.
Well, yeah, I do like my mom's cooking better. That's just the truth. I wasn't trying to hurt you. It's just how I feel.
Then maybe you should have married her instead, because clearly that's who you're loyal to, not me. For years, I put aside my own feelings to keep things peaceful, to keep you happy. But no matter what I did, you never stood up for me. You let her walk all over me, even when it came to the house and the mortgage. You lied. You made it seem like I was only paying a small portion, like I wasn't contributing as much as you were, just to make yourself look good in front of everyone. You told people I was only covering a fraction, but in reality, I was paying most of it. You took advantage of me for your own ego.
Wait, what are you talking about? It's not like that.
Isn't it? All this time you let me shoulder the burden while pretending you were the one doing it. You lied to your friends, to your family, and most of all, to me. I've been the one keeping things afloat, but you were too busy protecting your pride to acknowledge that. You took me for granted.
Okay, listen, I get it. I've messed up, but I'm being serious now. I want to fix this. We can still work things out. We can move past this. I need you. I can't do this without you. Don't throw away everything we've built together. Please don't leave me.
So, now that you're in trouble, you're starting to feel the pressure of everything I've been dealing with. You suddenly realize you need me. Now that the money situation has gotten serious and you can't handle it alone, I finally matter. It's too little too late. You'll have to take care of the mortgage on your own from now on. You'll have to figure out how to keep up with the bills without me there to quietly pick up the slack like I've been doing all these years. But it's not just the money. That's not the only reason I'm leaving. My frustration, my resentment goes much deeper than that.
Wait, you're really serious about this? You're just going to leave? All over a couple of fights with my mom? Isn't that a bit extreme?
You still don't get it, do you? This isn't just about a couple of fights with your mother. This is about years of disrespect, years of feeling like I don't matter, like my feelings and my boundaries don't exist in this relationship. I have had enough, and you standing here asking me to fix things when you should have been the one doing it all along is proof that you'll never change. You'll always put your mother first. I am done being second place in my own marriage.
No, wait, please. We can fix this, I swear. I'll talk to my mom. I'll do whatever it takes. Just don't leave. You don't have to do this.
It's too late for that. You had your chance, and you chose not to act. Now you can live with the consequences of your inaction. I am done with this marriage, and I am done with you. Goodbye.
Lily, I heard everything from my son. I was really surprised to find out that it was all just my misunderstanding. I had no idea things were like that. Oh, you can come back right now. Let's live happily together from now on.
Wow, what a complete change of heart. I can really feel the family blood in this. You say I can come back? Oh, there's no way that's happening. With this, I've finally gained my freedom.
But really, I didn't know anything. My son told me that you only pay $400 for the mortgage each month, and I believed him. I thought that was the truth all along.
That's impossible. Are you suggesting that your son is paying for more than just that? I can't believe that.
I mean, that's what I heard from my son. He's quite capable at work, and he even attracts attention from women there. He's been bragging about how much he earns, saying that he only makes his wife pay $400 a month, like he's some kind of hero. I never thought that could be a lie.
From the sound of it, Andrew is quite the liar then. He isn't paying any mortgage at all. I'm the one paying $4,000 a month. That's an amount he could never afford. By the way, saying that he's popular at work is another embarrassing lie, and it's really hard for me to swallow.
What? That was a lie too?
Haven't you heard? You seem to have accepted it. You allowed him to flirt around with other women outside. How could you let that happen?
That's...
Did you perhaps hear that the women he's involved with are from his workplace?
Yeah, but... Wait, are you saying that's not the case?
No, it's not. I see now. That's why you've been nagging me so much while also allowing Andrew to date those other worthless women. The reason you first accepted my marriage to your son was that I'm an educated person, not some party girl. I thought it was strange how you seemed to approve.
Wait, what do you mean? My son told me he was being pursued by cute young girls at work, and he even asked for advice because he couldn't turn them down. He said that at home you're just a dried-up woman, so it's understandable that he'd be tempted by those young girls.
I see. Well, your son sounds like quite a fool, then.
What did you just say?
Your son is a man blinded by young, cute girls, throwing everything away for them. He has no idea what he's lost.
So, what does that mean?
The woman Andrew is actually dating is just some random girl. She has no education or anything else, just looks. Apparently she works nights to make money. I'm sure she's the type with very little professional integrity. I think your son is the only one seriously infatuated with her, and she's probably playing him like a fool.
Wait, are you saying it's that pathetic?
No, I was surprised too, but I actually appreciate you for helping me realize this. It's almost comical how blind I was, and I'm thankful for your unwitting help in seeing the truth.
My help? What do you mean by that?
You said to me, "Don't be too comfortable just because you're married to him, dried up woman. You'd better prepare yourself to be thrown away soon." Didn't you? You hinted at divorce and mentioned how Andrew is so popular with women. You probably meant to put me down, but it actually served as a great trigger for me to realize his infidelity. I should have noticed when he started going out more for drinks or on trips, but I was so focused on making money and keeping things stable at home.
So you mean it was because of me that you ignited your realization?
Yes, that's right. Looking back, I really wish you hadn't been so arrogant. I worked hard to pay the mortgage and support that man's life while being mocked by a mother-in-law who made my life miserable. I was concentrating on my job every day to provide a good life for all of us, but here I was being called a dried-up woman. So, you think those cute young girls fit you all, right? That must be why you're so quick to dismiss me.
I had no idea that's what it was. We are the victims here. If my son hadn't told so many lies, it wouldn't have come to this. If I'd known the truth, I would have been much kinder to you.
No, I think it's too late for that now. You accepted that your son was enjoying his infidelity and looked down on me. You're just as guilty. How can you play the victim now? Or are you thinking of abandoning Andrew and coming back to me just to suck more money out of me? Do you think that would work?
I'm really sorry. I truly regret what my son has done. I will make sure to talk to him about his wrongdoings. So I want you to come back.
Please tell me how coming back would benefit me. What's in it for me?
Well, I could at least cook for you. I could make sure you have good meals every day.
Andrew loves the meals you make, but honestly, I don't like your cooking. The salt content is too high and everything tastes salty. I'm worried about my future health. I don't want to end up like that. Plus, I could hire a maid to handle the cooking. There's no need for it to be you.
Oh, please don't say that.
I will demand proper compensation from Andrew. I have plenty of evidence of his infidelity. I cannot believe he would bring a woman home while I was away on a business trip, but the surveillance cameras have caught everything. That's irrefutable evidence, and I'll use it.
Wait, the surveillance cameras were for that purpose?
Yes, they were. If he can't pay the compensation, I'll report it to his company. I won't hold back.
Wait, if you report it to the company, he'll lose his job. You can't do that.
That would be well deserved. He has brought this upon himself, and he deserves the punishment. Of course, I'll also demand repayment for the mortgage I've been paying. Andrew probably doesn't have the ability to pay all that back smoothly, so you'll have to say goodbye to that dream home you've been talking about.
Wait, please, I had dreams. You said before that I wanted a home where we could all live happily, have grandchildren, and enjoy a happy life together. I've treated you coldly until now, but it's because I felt you weren't doing anything for that.
Can you stop imposing your selfish dreams on me? Oh, I forgot to mention some good news for you. It seems your son's girlfriend is pregnant.
What?
According to her, it's Andrew's child, but since Andrew has refused to marry her, it looks like she'll only be asking for child support. She seems to be the kind of woman skilled at living a low life, squeezing money from foolish men bit by bit. For you, it's the long-awaited first grandchild, so congratulations.
No! If he continues to be involved with that woman, it'll ruin his life. Please, you're the only person who can save us. I can't believe he'd let this happen. I'm really sorry for what I said before. Please come back. I need you.
No, you and your family need to realize how foolish your choices have been. You will regret this deeply. I have no obligation to help you. I want you to fall into hell together and realize just how much I was a goddess to you.
Please, I'll do anything. I promise to be better. Just help us. I can't stand the thought of my son being with that woman. I'll even clean for you, too.
You really think cleaning is enough to make up for everything? I can't believe you try to win me over with that. It shows just how desperate you are.
Really, I am desperate. I can't bear the thought of losing everything. I thought we were family.
Family? After everything that's happened, you accepted your son's infidelity, and you think I should just forgive and forget? No, I can't do that.
Please, I never wanted things to get this far. I just wanted us to be a happy family again.
You can't just wish for happiness. It requires effort and honesty, and your son has been anything but honest.
I know. I get it now. I can see how naive I was, but I want to change.
Change isn't enough at this point. You should have thought of that earlier before you allowed this to happen.
I'll do whatever it takes to make things right. Just please give me another chance.
You think I owe you another chance? You think I should just forget how you turned a blind eye to everything?
I didn't know. I was misled.
And now that you know the truth, what will you do? Will you just keep letting him play you and treat you like this?
No, I'll stand up for myself. I won't let him control me anymore.
That's what I want to hear, but actions speak louder than words. You need to prove that you mean it.
I will. I promise I will confront him.
You need to understand that your son is not the man you thought he was. He is weak and selfish.
I realize that now. I've been so blinded by my hopes and dreams for him.
Those dreams were built on lies. You need to face reality and stop living in fantasy.
You're right. I need to accept it. So will you please help me out? Please, Lily.
No, I won't. You got yourself into that position with him, so now you can sit there and regret your mistakes with him for the rest of your lives. My husband, as I suspected, found himself in a complete panic when he could no longer manage to pay the mortgage. The financial strain became unbearable, and it escalated to the point where his salary was garnished due to unpaid debts. He was overwhelmed with stress, anxiety, and despair as the reality of our financial situation hit him hard. I watched him grapple with the consequences of his actions, feeling helpless yet aware that he was the one responsible for this predicament. In the meantime, I took decisive action regarding his infidelity. I decided to report his unfaithfulness to his employer, believing it was necessary to expose the truth. This choice was not made lightly. I understood the implications it would have on his career. However, I felt a sense of control returning to my life after enduring the pain of betrayal. Reporting him meant that his reputation at work would be significantly damaged, and I was ready for the repercussions that would follow. The fallout was immediate. His reputation at work suffered tremendously, and he quickly became the subject of gossip and scorn among his colleagues. His inability to perform well in his job prior to this revelation only made matters worse. He was never particularly good at his work. In fact, he had often struggled to meet even the most basic expectations. The news of his personal failings made it impossible for him to maintain any semblance of respect among his peers. Colleagues who had once been sympathetic to him and began to voice their frustrations openly, and the humiliation was palpable. With his work situation deteriorating rapidly, he found himself essentially losing his place in the company. Although he experienced a significant pay cut due to his lackluster performance, he had no choice but to continue working there. The reality was harsh. He could not quit because he had no other options for income. This meant that every day he dragged himself to work, feeling defeated and unwanted. The stress must have been excruciating, knowing that he was not only failing in his marriage, but also in his professional life. During this tumultuous period, I had to reflect on my feelings for him. There was a time when I found his slightly airheaded nature charming and even endearing. I appreciated the carefree attitude he brought to our lives, believing it added a sense of fun. However, as the reality of his actions sank in, I began to realize that I had completely misjudged his character. I failed to see the warning signs and choose poorly when it came to selecting a partner. This painful experience has become a crucial lesson in my life, highlighting the importance of being discerning in relationships and understanding the deeper qualities that make a good partner. In terms of material consequences, the fallout from this situation was significant. My husband and his family were forced to sell their house, which had once been a symbol of stability and success. They were left with no choice but to liquidate their assets to pay off debts and settle their financial affairs. I heard that they're now living in a rundown, dilapidated place that can hardly be compared to their previous home. The contrast between their past life and their current living conditions must be stark, serving as a constant reminder of the consequences of their choices. Amidst all this turmoil, my mother-in-law has been directing her frustrations toward her son, blaming him for the collapse of their once stable life. The tension between them has escalated into a serious rift, leading to a strained and contentious relationship. Their home, which should have been a sanctuary, has now become a battleground of anger and resentment. It's sad to see a family torn apart by the very actions that should have brought them together. In the wake of these challenges, my mother-in-law has found herself in a position where she must earn her own living expenses. The days of relying solely on her son for support are long gone. She's taken on a part-time job, working tirelessly every day to make ends meet. This drastic change in her life must be difficult to adjust to, as she may have once enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle that no longer exists. She now navigates the world of work, grappling with the daily grind that she had perhaps avoided for a long time. It's ironic to think that the dream of a happy life in their ideal home surrounded by family has now become a distant memory for them. The aspirations they once held dear have been replaced by the harsh realities of their situation. I can't help but feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that their choices led them down this path. They created their own mess, and now they must face the consequences. While it may sound harsh, I sincerely hope that my husband never finds happiness for the rest of his life. It may seem cruel, but I believe it is essential for him to experience the repercussions of his actions. He's caused so much pain and suffering, not only to me, but to everyone around him. There must be accountability for what he's done, and I wish for him to understand the weight of his decisions. As I reflect on the entire situation, I realize that the lessons I've learned from this experience will stay with me for a long time. I will carry these lessons into my future relationships and endeavors, ensuring that I do not repeat the same mistakes. The aftermath of this situation will continue to unfold, and I will be watching closely to see how it all plays out. I have no doubt that there will be more challenges ahead for my husband and his family. They'll have to navigate their new reality and face the consequences of their actions every single day. Although I might not be involved in their lives anymore, the memories of what transpired will linger in my mind as a reminder of how far I've come. As I think about the future, I realize that life goes on, and I must focus on my own path and well-being. I've gained a new perspective on relationships, trust, and self-worth. I refuse to let their choices define my happiness. Instead, I will move forward, stronger and wiser than before. I owe it to myself to embrace the lessons learned and use them as stepping stones to a brighter future. In closing, I wish my husband well, not because I harbor any residual feelings of affection, but because I believe everyone deserves a chance to reflect on their actions. However, I will not be there to support him in any way. He must face the consequences alone, without my assistance or pity. This chapter of my life has come to a close, and I am ready to start anew. The journey of healing will take time, but I am determined to rebuild my life. I will surround myself with people who uplift and inspire me, leaving behind the negativity and toxicity that once held me back. I look forward to embracing new experiences, finding joy in the little things, and creating a life filled with love, respect, and happiness. In conclusion, the lessons learned from this tumultuous chapter have shaped me into a stronger person. I've realized the importance of self-worth and the necessity of surrounding myself with those who appreciate me for who I am. My husband's actions have led to pain and suffering, but they've also provided me with the clarity and strength to move forward with my life. I can only hope that he too finds a way to learn from his mistakes and grow as a person, though I remain skeptical. For now, my focus is on my own happiness and well-being. I will take this experience and use it as a foundation for a brighter, more fulfilling future. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.